Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Stormworks. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be looking at this, which is the XMBT Mark 9, also known as the Jade. Now, I've actually fully recorded this entire episode and am now re-recording it solely because, well, there were some issues and I've had some changes I wanted to make. So, a quick look around this vehicle and, well, one thing to really note about this is it's entirely built for PvP. So there are some things that you might expect for a normal tank, such as, the ability to refuel, which I don't have on this tank, solely because these are meant for short-term matches and things like that. And some of the functionality here is purely for that multiplayer PvP. Anyway, with that out of the way, a few things to note. One, you will notice the camera system up there with laser rangefinder. There's also a camera embedded into the armor that is directly attached to the gun, which is an auxiliary camera, backup camera, with a driver's camera embedded in the hull. On the sides, you will notice these little canisters. These are smoke grenades, which I will be showing off here in a bit. The entire side skirts of the tank are made of fuel, so that this way I have an extreme amount of fuel. I should never run out, even though the engine itself is pretty efficient. It is a diesel-electric system, similar to what I was using on some of the earlier tanks, like I think the Sapphire, I believe, used that. Another fun thing to note, all of these tanks are segmented, so that, say, if this tank gets penetrated, then these tanks won't spill out fuel because they're separated by these flow valves. The top and bottom are also separated, and pretty much so long as this back tank here isn't penetrated, we should be fine. There's also internal fuel and an entire extra set of fuel on the other side. Another thing to note while we're out here is this up here is the coaxial machine gun. Well, not really coaxial, I should say. It is the machine gun. The big reason for that being, well, I had a very tight constraint on size that I wanted to go for. A 3 tall turret with a 4 tall hull, which is just barely big enough to put a seat into. And I also wanted to use a turret ring. Not for the water sealing properties, just because I wanted to use one. I wanted the challenge. And the problem with putting an autoloader in that tight of a space is, well, I had no room for the machine gun inside the tank. And the best place I could put it is at the rear of the turret. I actually kind of like this look. Another thing to note real quick while we are on top of the tank is this here. This is a radar detector. If at any point this gets hit with a radar signal, it will start a beeping alarm inside the tank. And if I press a button inside the tank, I will launch these chaff grenades up into the air above my tank in order to intercept any possible radar missiles. Because, well, radar missiles is one of the big threats I'm expecting to face in some of these tank battles. Climbing down into the tank, you will notice a few things around me. Fire extinguisher, personal defense weapon, ammunition for that weapon, a first aid kit, a welding torch, a force reload button, just in case the reloading system doesn't work like it should, spare binoculars, spare flashlight, and 3 monitors. As I hop into the seat, first button I'm going to press is 3, which is the master start, which turns on all of the power and starts the diesel-electric engine. And here you'll see the cameras. There is the backup sight, which is directly attached to the barrel, with that little fin on the barrel serving as a sight post. Yeah. Not the best, but hey, it's better than nothing, especially considering how often that little camera module on top kept getting shot whenever I did my other battles. Driver camera, and this is the main sight. Other buttons while I'm here. 2 will zoom, and as I zoom in, you'll notice the scale gets different as the cannon also moves slightly for these ranges. So just a quick target acquisition sight. The actual main sight, I guess, that's 366. Should aim right about there. Fire. Hit. This is using my cannon accuracy offset magic. So I can hit the same target just about every time, so long as the game doesn't do anything weird on me. And I can just bring the sight back out to, say, grab another target. Say I want to hit that thing out there. That is 843. So I want to hit about there. Hey, struck its turret. See if we can get another good hit. Struck the other side of its turret. Yeti. There we go. So we've talked about space or 1. I have my 1 key rebound to space so I can hit space and fire. 2, we've already said zoom. 3 is the master start. 4 is the machine gun button. If you look at the sight here, as I hold 4, bottom left button is my machine gun ammo counter. Top left is the cannon. As I fire, it turns red while reloading. And once it's reloaded, round is ready, turns green. And it counts down as we fire. Range is in bottom right. Hopefully that was obvious. 5 is our smoke launcher, which I'm not going to do quite yet until I pull out. And 6 is the little chaff launcher that I mentioned before. So, with the smoke, every time you press the smoke, one of these grenades from each side gets launched. I have 4 in total, so launch. You will notice it does launch a bit of chaff as well. And as I reverse, you can see kind of how big that cloud is. It's a little bit smaller than an earlier version of the smoke that I had, but these are a lot smaller grenades and a lot cheaper. So I'm still happy with these. And they're honestly quite a bit better than what was on the last tank, the Emerald, which were those hard fixed swivel back and forth things. Honestly, I think that's really it to talk about with the tank, other than this tank has armor. I'm not going to give the exact secrets yet, but it does have a sort of composite armor system. When designing the tank, I had originally intended for the front to be completely protected to battle cannons, and the side at least light autocannons and preferably heavy autocannons. But what ended up happening as I built the tank, the front hull can take a battle cannon, the front turret can take a heavy autocannon, the side hull should be able to take a heavy autocannon, not entirely sure about that one, and the side turret can take a light autocannon in most places. There are some weak points in this armor. With that all out of the way, I don't see why we can't drive this thing around a little bit to show it off. We are using a diesel electric drive. It is really simple and really easy. I love it. And I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but this tank does have a rudimentary sights, I'm stumbling over my English here. A rudimentary stabilizer. If you notice, as we bounce along, the barrel will move, and so will the sight. This is not a fire on the move solution. This is more so of a target acquisition. So if I'm trying to acquire that target, while I'm still rocking, I can get sights on and fire before I come to a complete stop, and while my tank's still bouncing a bit, I can get some better target acquisition. There we go. And trying to think about random things I can say about the tank to make this video just a bit longer. The reloader. Yeah, you may notice the cannon, whenever I reload, raises to salute. That's mostly a design constraint because of how tiny this tank is. How I had to, like, get this autoloader to work. The cannon has to move down into place to grab from the belt below it. Anyway, I think that's really it. And if I keep going, I'm just going to keep rambling. So, I'm going to end things here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing. Please subscribe. It helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So if you do want to help the channel, please share this episode with a friend. I do really hope to be getting this tank into some battles sometime soon. So if you do have a tank and you are interested in battles, please let me know. But until then, thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.